All right, guys, so check this out. If you're an average San Francisco commuter, you lost about 116 hours sitting in traffic in 2023. That's nearly 3 full work weeks gone, vanished. Just you, the brake lights in front of you, and the podcast you're already sick of. The return to the office was supposed to feel normal, but for hundreds of thousands, it's just brought us back to this. A soul-crushing, time-stealing daily grind. The dream of living and working in this iconic region is being consumed by the reality of the commute. Today, we're going to break down the shocking numbers that reveal just how much of your life is disappearing on Bay Area freeways. We'll pinpoint the worst traffic hotspots, explain why this is all happening again, and ask if there's any real escape from this nightmare. So let's be honest, Bay Area traffic has always been a beast, but it feels like we've reached a new level of pain. While New York City may have a longer average commute time, a 2025 study on congestion levels actually ranked SF as the third most gridlocked city in the entire United States, behind LA and Honolulu. In the city's dense downtown, the average speed is a sluggish 12.6 miles per hour. You could probably jog faster than that, literally. Well, not me, let's be honest. The data from 2023 is jarring. Drivers in San Francisco lost an estimated 116 hours to rush hour traffic. This isn't just an inconvenience, it's literally a thief. It steals time that you could be spending with your family at the gym or just doing anything other than sitting in a car. Instead, that time is sacrificed to the grid light. And it's getting worse. From 2022 to 2023, the time lost to congestion in SF jumped by nearly 12 hours per driver. And why? A huge factor is the end of full-time remote work. In that same period, the number of people working from home in San Francisco dropped by 26%, forcing almost 39,000 more workers back onto the roads. That shift alone added nearly 12 extra hours of travel time per person over the year. The average one-way commute in the city has now crossed the 30-minute mark, hitting 30.9 minutes, the fifth worst in the nation. And remember, that's just the average. For thousands, the reality is far more grim. While some might see the return of traffic as a sign of healthy economy, for the driver stuck in it, it just feels like punishment. You guys, I'm Gilbert Caston, local real estate advisor in town, but most importantly, I am a very proud girl dad. In this video, we're gonna dissect the difference in commutes between the Bay Area and Sacramento. So as you guys heard, we're spending a lot more time on the road and less time with our families, and it's all because of where we live and the traffic we decide to put ourselves in due to the daily grind. So let's go. Here's the great paradox of the Bay Area. The vary between who powers its economy often can't afford to live anywhere near their jobs. This is what fuels the region's traffic crisis, and it has given birth to a special exhausted class of traveler, the super commuter. We're not just talking about a long drive, we're talking about life-altering journeys across the Bay Area. A stunning 13% of commuters have what's defined as an extreme commute, a trip lasting 60 minutes or more each way. It gets even more intense in Contra Costa County, where nearly 1 in 4 commuters travel at least an hour to get to work. That's a long, long time. And then there are the true super commuters, the ones traveling over 90 minutes each way, 3 hours a day or more just in transit. People trekking from the Central Valley to San Francisco can easily face a 2 to 3 hour trip. One commuter on Reddit facing a mandatory 5-day return to the office described their job from outside the immediate Bay Area as regularly hitting 1 hour and 45 minutes, with the trip home stretching to 2 hours multiple times a month. When they got the 5-day mandate, they said they literally cried. This isn't a lifestyle choice, it's a direct consequence of the region's insane housing costs. As prices in job hubs like San Francisco and Silicon Valley have exploded, workers have been pushed further and further out. According to 2023 census data, residents of Brentwood and Contra Costa County had the longest average commute of any city in the US at 46 minutes one way. You think public transit would be the greater equalizer, but the irony is that often demands an even bigger time sacrifice. In 2023, the average commute for someone driving alone was 29 minutes. For a transit rider, 50 minutes, a 73% longer journey. So you're left with a choice: the stress and unpredictability of traffic, or the longer, more complicated trip on public transportation. Now, why is this happening now? It's all about the hybrid work effect. For a moment, the pandemic showed us a different world. Freeways were wide open and commute times actually dropped. That dream is over. The main reason for our current traffic hell is a return to office. As more companies demand in-person work, the roads have clogged right back up. But it's a new kind of clog. The old 5-day rush hour has been replaced by a more concentrated pattern of congestion. Now we're living in the era of the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday traffic tsunami. With hybrid schedules being the new norm, these 3 days have become the absolute peak for commuting, with traffic surges that are often even worse than pre-pandemic levels. The morning rush starts earlier, the evening gridlock builds faster, and we've basically traded a predictable 9 to 5 grind for 3 days of rolling traffic jams. This new pattern is putting a massive strain on an infrastructure that has already on the ropes. The Bay's geography, with its bridges and natural choke points, funnels hundreds of thousands of commuters into just a few key corridors. The Bay Bridge, along with freeways like 101, 880, and 24, are perpetual bottlenecks that account for the vast majority of all traffic delays. The system simply wasn't built to handle this kind of concentrated crush of cars. The problem is made worse by the fact that jobs remain clustered in a few key areas. San Francisco and Santa Clara counties continue to be the biggest magnets, pulling in a net total of over 320,000 workers each day from other counties. With 4 out of 10 Contra Costa residents commuting to a different county for work, the pressure of the system is relentless. So what's your commute story? Are you one of the thousands spending hours on 880 or crawling across the Bay Bridge? Drop your commuting horror story in the comments below. I read every one of them, and if this data hits home, hit subscribe for more deep dives into what it really means to live and work in the Bay Area today. Now the question, is there a way out? The hard truth is there's no magic wand for the Bay Area's traffic problem. It's a tangled mess of housing policy, economic forces, and infrastructural decisions made decades ago. But there are a few potential paths forward, even if none are easy. The biggest conversation happening right now is about public transportation. Agencies like BART and Muni are staring down massive budget deficits as federal pandemic aid runs out. Without new funding, they are forecasting catastrophic service cuts. We're talking reductions of 50 to 80%. Can you imagine that chaos? Tens of thousands of transit riders would be forced into cars and onto freeways that are already at its breaking point. To stop this from happening, a regional ballot measure is being proposed for the November 2026 election. It would create a new sales tax to give stable funding to BART, Caltrain, AC Transit, and other systems so they can maintain and even improve service. This is probably the most powerful tool the region has in its short term. It's a choice either to invest in a functioning transit system or accept a future of permanent soul-crushing gridlock. Another strategy on the table is congestion pricing. The idea is simple. Charge a fee to drive into the busiest parts of a city during peak hours. New York has already rolled out a version of this, while San Francisco's own plans are on hold. The concept is a proven way to manage demand. By making it more expensive to drive downtown, it gives people a real incentive to use public transportation, carpool, or travel at different times. Finally, there's a need for a change in behavior. Experts suggest that a simple way to ease the midweek traffic tsunami is for more employers to be more flexible, encouraging workers to spread their in-office day more evenly across the week. And yes, even on Mondays and Fridays. Another small but meaningful change was ending the Clean Air Vehicle Decal program, which led solo EV drivers use carpool lanes. That move helps reclaim those lanes for actual carpoolers. Now I'll end it with this. The Bay Area's commute isn't just an annoyance anymore, it's a defining and draining feature of life here. It's a crisis supercharged by the return to office push and rooted in jobs and housing mismatch that traps people in grueling multi-hour journeys every single day. That figure of 116 hours last year for San Francisco drivers isn't just a number, it's a measure of lost life. The solutions being discussed, investing in transit, managing congestion with pricing, and promoting smarter work schedules are required political courage and a collective agreement that things can't go on like this. So the real question is, at what point does the commute finally break the promise of the Bay Area? When does the dream of innovation and opportunity get so choked by traffic that it's just not worth the drive? The answer to that is soon to come. You guys, I made the drive probably for 3 to 4 months when my business was in Sausalito, just commuting from SAC to the Bay Area, specifically Sausalito, and that commute was drooling. But when hearing the numbers about how long California drivers, especially Bay Area drivers, spend on the road and away from their families, it's truly jaw-dropping. Something has to be done. I'm a big fan of the hybrid work, even though I do fully understand how employers definitely do prefer and want their employees to go into office. But if production is just as strong when people are doing remote work and that could relieve some of the congested freeways, I'm all about it. You guys, I'm Joubert Caston. I hope this video has served some kind of value to you. Hope you like what I'm putting out. Like, subscribe, share, comment, do what you can. I will be producing nothing but value to you all, and I'm not stopping. Take care of yourself. On to the next video. Ow!